Okay, we're all formal now. All right, have you guys heard that there's a storm coming? You heard about the storm? What's the storm? This is a buffalo.
Not a moose.
This is a buffalo. What's the storm? When we talk about the storm is coming, what's the storm? The shift in the market, a shifting market, a recession could be a storm. A shifting market seasonality can be a storm. Now, what's the analogy of the buffalo? Have you heard the story of the buffalo yet? You heard it this morning on YouTube. Yeah, so share with us. Okay.
I want you to share.
Okay, so the buffalo, when the buffalo sees a storm coming, instead of turning and running away, the buffaloes have learned through generations and generations that they turn towards the storm and run towards it to move through it quicker. Now, how does that relate to a shift in the market for us? What does that tell us? When the market changes, you change and face it head on. We can't turn. We cannot turn our heads and look away. We can't hide and put our heads in the sand. So here's Gary's tips for charging the storm. Number one, stay positive. Stay positive and look for opportunities. Have the storm work for you. Find ways to have the storm work for you. So what's some ways that we can have the storm work for us? What's some things we can do? How about if we target demographics that are likely to sell or likely to buy? Or how about demographics that are unaffected by the storm? Who is unaffected by rising interest rates? Cash buyers, right? What is higher interest rates in a slower market? Who does that create opportunities for? Investors. Who else? Investors, perfect. First-time buyers, right? People that need down payment assistance. People that need an assumption, right? We just did a qualified assumption. So it creates opportunity for those people. So we need to stay positive and look for opportunities. We need to play offense, not defense. Gary says one of the biggest challenges people face in a recession is they start to play defense and they pull back because they try to save their resources, right? They cut all their expenses. And he says the first thing they cut is their coach. He says that's the last person you should cut. He says the next thing they cut is what? Marketing. And he says, no, you don't cut marketing. He says, if anything, you get rid of your personal expenses, lean your personal expenses so you have more money to take advantage of the market, right? He says, so play offense and focus on gaining market share. Okay? Listen more than ever and stay open-minded. Why do we need to listen? What are we listening for? Opportunities. There's people out there that are going to outperform the market. There's companies out there that are going to outperform the market, and we need to listen and pay attention for those opportunities so we can learn from them, okay? And we can adapt quickly and then take our money that we're saving and put it towards those opportunities. Get out of your comfort zone. I love this one, right? He says, change is inevitable, right? Change is inevitable. Participation is optional. Change is inevitable. How many of us got comfortable during the market, right? We got comfortable. Life is easy. You know, Patrick's over there as a lender. He's like, I wish I could go back. 2020, baby. So change is inevitable, though. We can't wish it was different anymore. We can't hope for things to be the way they were. It's changed. It's our choice to participate moving forward, okay? Focus on what we can control. Sure, the market's down roughly 30%. Is that fair? Number of sides, it's down 30%. Gary says, however, is there enough transactions happening for you to reach your goals? That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if the market's down 30%. What matters is you are focusing on achieving your goals, and there's enough market for you to achieve your goals. Does anybody here want to sell 5,000 homes a month? Okay, then there's plenty. There's plenty. Yeah, that sounds good. Patrick's like, I'm in. I just finished 76 hard. I'm in, bro. I could do anything, bro. Just put your mind to it. So, with 5,000 sides a month, with 5,000 transactions a month, every one of us can achieve our goals. There's more than enough market share for every one of us. Now, to do that, we're going to have to we're going to have to take some market share from other people. Okay? And then he says, live with certainty in uncertain times. Live with certainty in uncertain times. And here's what he says. Gary says, know yourself. Know who you are. Know what you stand for. Know what you want. And know what you're willing to do to get it. He says, when you know those four things, other people are going to show up for you. Your customers, staff, support. Everybody's going to get behind you if you live with that certainty and passion. Because in an uncertain world, when the market shifts, there's going to be people who are going to put their heads down. They're going to get scared. And if we're living with certainty and passion, we're going to outperform the market. Okay? So we're going to share this a lot. We're going to talk about these principles a lot as the market moves and fluctuates. Because right now, it's starting to turn. Have you noticed? How do we know? We have 58 listings right now in our inventory that have been on the market longer than 14 days. 58. So what's the rule on over 14 days? It's price, right? This is our office. Our office has 58 listings that are active longer. We actually have more, but we pulled out Grand County because they're a different MLS, so we pulled out Grand County. But we currently have 58. They have about another 12 up there. Okay. So 14 days on the market is a sign. It's either price, condition, or location. Can't pick the property up and move it. So there's nothing we can do about location. We're not going to move it. Condition, I always say to my seller, we're going to address the condition to the point that your budget allows us to address it. That's as far as we can go. Everything else we have to manage with price. Okay? Everything else we have to manage with price. So now we have to have price reduction conversations. And for a lot of us, this is a skill that has kind of dulled for us. We've got behind, right? Honestly, right? It's not fun. And our sellers, a lot of us, we might have set up the wrong expectation that we're going to get multiple offers or we're going to see a lot of showings and then crickets. You know, a listing that Sophia and I had, it was almost 2 months, and we had 6 showings in 2 months. 6 showings in 2 months. Now, fortunately, I had these conversations multiple times. I've had these conversations. So why don't agents have pricing conversations? What prevents us? Fear of what? Rejection what? They're going to say, I don't like you. What? There you go. Yeah, we're afraid of them either firing us saying, I'm going to pick another agent, or we're afraid of them saying, I'll just rent it, I'll just keep it, I'm not going to move. Okay. Now, if we don't have that conversation, what's going to happen? Yeah, at some point they're going to fire us because we didn't have the conversation, or it's going to expire. And then if it expires, then somebody else is going to get that opportunity to have that conversation. So either way, the result's the same when you look at your fear. However, what's the opportunity by having the conversation? Yeah. Win-win. Yeah. Well, what if... So I'll tell you a story. So I asked him for a price reduction. He said no. But I asked. Now, how often do I ask? How often do we ask?
Every week.
After 14 days, it's every week. Every week. Why? Because the market's sliding that fast. The market is changing that rapidly that we should have that conversation every week. Now, this is an open question. I don't have the perfect answer. What do you feel the best day of the week is to have that conversation? Monday or Tuesday? Yeah. I always did Thursday because I've done the price reduction on Monday and then got an offer Monday night. And then I'm like, ooh, then I felt weird. Especially if I changed in the MLS and then the offer switched. Rhonda's nodding. She's like, yep. I always do Thursday. Friday is too late. Friday's too late.
Have the discussion on Monday, but you may not put it in the MLS.
I like that. Have the discussion on Monday. Don't change the MLS till Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I like that. Now, here's the benefit of having those conversations. After 2 weeks, I had the conversation. We're not getting the activity. We had one showing. They bought the house across the street, right? And no other showings. And we're calling the other agents. The other agents aren't having showings either, okay? This is a neighborhood, DIA, literally it's in the flight path. So it's a tough neighborhood. It's got a special tax districts. Taxes are really high. So other deals are more affordable. However, every time I had a conversation with him, I had a conversation about price reduction, okay? I know this isn't what you want to hear. However, the market's speaking. We've addressed condition. We've addressed everything. We've talked to the other agents in the area. We just don't feel like your house is going to sell at this price. I think we want to consider doing a price reduction. Okay? He says, no, I'm not interested. Okay. I did my job. Right? My job is to give him the advice, not to strong arm him, choke him out to get him to do it. Not to get in an argument or a pissing match. It's not who's better, who's stronger, who's right or who's wrong. I just communicate the market and let him make his decision. Another 2 weeks goes by, we get an offer. Is that offer full price? No. However, it was a little bit greater than what I was going to ask him to do his price reduction at. So the conversation went like this. Bandar, that's his name, if our next price reduction would have been below this offer price, what do you want to do? And he said, we'll take the price. Now, we did counter some other terms, but we took that price.
And he was happy to get it.
He was super happy. Had I not had those price reduction conversations, what was likely going to happen?
He wasn't going to take the offer.
He wasn't going to take the offer. He's going to push back. Okay? Now, to be clear, this house was listed at $510. When I asked him for a price reduction, what did I ask for? $490. I said, I know this is lower than what you're going to think. However, I think in order to sell in the next 7 days, we need to be at $490. Now, what was I expecting him to do? What was I expecting him to do? Push back to $500, and I would have been fine with that. What was the offer? $499. Okay? That's called in negotiation, it's called a juxtaposition. It's where if you want to go, if you're here and you want to go here, you position here, right? We have to position 2 times what we actually want to get. So we don't ask for a $5,000 price reduction. I say to somebody, I want we'll do $5,000. I'm like, would you go to running back to the store for a 1% off sale? That's a 1% off sale. That's not going to get us there, right? We go at $490. I'm confident we're going to get an offer this week. If you go at $500, I'm not confident that's going to be the number. He says, I don't want to lower my price. I said, okay, we'll see how it goes. All right. These are the conversations we have to be having every week. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. If you want to sit down with me and role play it, we'll sit down and role play it, but you have to have these conversations because we're going to start calling expired listings. I don't want to be calling our listings, guys. Okay? And there's no rule in here for you not to call somebody else's listing. I want you to. If you have an expired listing and Rudy calls it, then you learned a lesson, right? We're a competitive office. Yes?
Help me understand. You didn't actually get a price reduction.
I did not get a price reduction.
But you put the price in his mind so that when the offer came in.
Yep. Yeah.
But you didn't get it.
Because
Did you tell him the price reduction?
I told him $490. Because he was thinking $5. Yeah. And he said no. He said no to 490. I would have been fine with 5. I would have been fine going from 510 to 5. Didn't happen that way. Had I not had the conversation, though, we wouldn't be under contract. That's what I want you to know. He would have pushed back, and he would have pushed back, and we wouldn't have got this deal done. Okay?
So you planted it in his mind.
I had an honest conversation with him.
Yeah, but you planted the seed.
Yeah.
This might be how low
Yeah.
you'd have to go.
Yeah, exactly. And people need time to absorb, right? I'm sure I was the topic of conversation a couple nights at dinner, just to be fair. Okay? But if you guys want to role play any of this, if you have listings that are sitting or tough situations or tough sellers, I'm happy to sit down with you and role play this, okay? This is extremely important moving forward. Okay, so before we get to all the upcoming classes you see here in front of you, we can shut this off now, Rocio. Thank you. Is it already shut off? Did the battery die? Did it kill? It was like right on my face.